picture from the Black Lagoon. Page after page after page. We're at the west side.
I'll give you some points for creativity.
Yeah.
Who knows how it works?
Yep, that's me. Thank
I tend to think
Thank
that shorter and sweeter messages are better.
I assume Doc will be standing somewhere.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're right about. In fact, if you like in there, I can probably use my influence.
Use your influence guiding.
Yeah.
I'll lower just to get out of you guys a shot. You okay there? You okay there?
I guess it would make sense. Yeah, I've never thought that it was that overly wordy mailers. Lethal things.
Okay, quick. Somebody told me the last time a political event started on time. Quick.
This morning.
Did it?
It did.
Who was in charge?
10:30 on the dot. Who was in charge?
Yeah.
I assume planning.
He's some timekeeper, right?
Actually, I think Nina's staying at Oakar.
Yeah.
Surprisingly on, like very much on time, smoothly. I was stunned. I'm like, there's no way. We got out early, which is that ever. You know what I mean? They were done 45 minutes.
So I called. She's on her way.
Okay. We don't want to start without her.
No, we're not going to start without her. And if something came up, we'll reschedule. But we'll see. Great. Hello. So I talked to the guy down there who had his power lifter stolen.
Yeah.
I told him he ought to submit a moral claim to the city. You know, because I mean, you know, they had the camera.
$4,000.
$6,000. Now, does she know this end and not that one? Did you tell her?
I told her.
Okay. But anyhow, I talked to him and I told him about. I mean, you know, it's the city's fault to get this. They didn't have the security cameras on. Go. First day of school at St. Ignatius. Ran into a number of members of their freshman class matriculating today.
But not St. Ed's. I can still make right turns on red in my neighborhood as long as St. Ed's is not such.
I'm going to take a look down there and see if, well, she'd be driving, right?
I think she was coming with a couple or three other ladies. So maybe it was a problem picking them up, or they're picking her up. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to go inside the market and say I have a few people. I'll be back.
Okay, just, you know, I'm going to go to the other leg of this produce section. Maybe she thought I meant down there. So, I'm trying to help you guys out.
We'll be right here. Don't worry about it.
Don't go away.
We're not going anywhere. They probably are.
wants to go to, so he couldn't stick around. No, I mean that. Well, he was here. He said he was just going to walk through and say hi to a couple of people. I just can't put on.
That's fine. No problem.
Gotcha.
Catch my breath there. Look at this, Mark. This is a shame. You know that three of these people want another stand in the city. Nobody will say that. I've told the media other times, and they never cover their part. Inside.
Like you don't have the space.
Yeah, I mean, really, they're so they're nuts. I don't know if they're trying to kill it, or they don't like it because it's called West Side. I mean, seriously, that always was a real problem with some people. But nonetheless, inside, the Mexican stand, wants one right behind it. It's been there for 2 years.
Rock and roll time.
I'm done. It's time for you to say goodbye. You know, the best part of this thing, best thing is when you smoke Spanish.
And I don't even understand.
Mary Rose.
I said the best part of what you did last night was I didn't know you smoked Spanish. No, you smoked really Spanish. Oh,
You, Ken.
yeah,
How you doing? Oh, yeah. Hey, good man. I remember him and Susan. Come on.
I remember.
You remember Ed? We served with that. Okay.
I'm gonna get the wall.
Are we live? We can be. Okay, well, just, we're about to start. All right, you can get the go ahead.
All right, here we go.
Stand next to that gentleman over there.
Okay, and my glasses are all whatever, but I'm gonna still
So Mary Rose.
You look tall compared to me, see?
No.
That's why I choose this one.
I consider this a very important moment in our campaign to give government back to the people of the city of Cleveland.
Right.
And to have the support of Congresswoman Oakar, to me, there's no one who the people of Cleveland identify more with than Mary Rose Oakar, who served with this community for 16 years, right?
Well, 30 years in public.
Right, but 16 years in the United States Congress.
That's right, like
Right.
you.
Right. She and I have both served Congress 16 years, pretty much the same constituents. Congresswoman Oakar.
Yes. Well, Dennis, it's, if I can call you Dennis still.
Yeah.
It is a privilege to endorse you because I think you're best for the job. It's that simple. However, I would like to give a few of the ideas that I had in endorsing you and not some of the other people, since we have so many people running. Number one, the city is in great need of somebody experienced. We have great cultural assets, but we are the poorest city in the country. Our people are suffering from violence and crime, and they need jobs. And you really have access to getting us our needs. First of all, you've been in more offices than anybody I can think of, and you won the re-elections, never appointed. So you've been a council person, which I served with you in, the mayor, you've been the clerk of courts, you've been a state senator, you've been a member of Congress. If you need funds to train those police, you can go to Washington and tell President Biden, whom you know, to give you a grant for that if you don't have enough money, and the city's going to get a windfall of money in the near future. And I like what you're gonna do. You're gonna have more police. There isn't a ward in this city that doesn't want more police protection and less violence, which is awful for them. Secondly, we need jobs, and you've always been for regular people in need of jobs. And I know you're creative, and you'll help train them if they need training, and find the avenues with the unions and others to get them jobs. Thirdly, you've promised me that you will beef up the Department of Aging. Now, I was appalled. I called there. I think they're doing some good things, but I wrote the bill on elder abuse, and I find out that a person who calls who's abused and gets to the phone before somebody's around that's going to abuse them, and they don't have that, you got to call the county, and you don't get anybody on the line. And if they call you back, they're going to get abused 5 times more. So you promised that you would beef that department up, and I think that is a very, very major thing. And finally, we're at the market. Look at this market. A gem for the city of Cleveland. Do you know, on its 100th anniversary, several years ago, not long ago, it was said to be the best market in the world. And the city of Cleveland and the council have let it go down the tubes. And you shop at the market, as I do, and Councilman Polensik, but the mayor's never shopped there, and many of the council people don't shop there, etc. And you know what to do about it, and the vendors love you. You're going to be fair to them. So I'm delighted to endorse you, and I'm sure there's other reasons for my endorsement, but you fit the bill perfectly.
Thanks, Mary.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And you know, I just want to say that to be able to stand here with you, Mary Rose is a Cleveland institution. Everybody knows her, and people love Mary Rose Oakar. Why? Because you stood for the people in every office you ever held. And when I went to Congress, I knew that if I could take the same stands on economic issues as Congresswoman Oakar, that I would be a success in the United States Congress. And so, thank you for in so many ways, representing this community. And thanks for being here with me now, because I want to tell you, you have the energy and the enthusiasm for public service that I have, and I'm looking forward to having your help as we go forward, because there's so many people who have a contribution to give. But Congresswoman Oakar is extraordinary in her reach. We'll go to Washington. You've known Joe Biden for years. You were there at the start of his career, as was I. And we go to Washington and get the help that this community needs.
Exactly.
To me, the years that you spent in Washington, the years that I spent in Washington, there are very few people we don't know that we couldn't reach out to on either side of the aisle to get help for our city. And the federal government has a lot of money right now. We want to bring it home.
Can I add
please
one
do.
more? One of the things that I like the most about you is that you care about people. And I forgot to mention the school. And you know, the schools, I'm an old educator. You've taught some classes too, here and there. And I have to tell you something. You will listen to those people, because you appoint the school board. The only mayor in that state that appoints a school board, and they're like lapdogs. You will appoint people and ask the parents and the guardians,
Absolutely.
what kind of a school board do you want? What do your kids need? They know what their kids need.
Yeah,
And so I think that's education is another major issue in your corner.
Well, thank you very much, Congresswoman Oakar. Your support is so meaningful, and it's adding to the growing support that we have. We're open for any questions that you may have.
Could you talk a little bit about, like, at what point you decided to make this endorsement? If there were any recent events in the campaign that sort of clinched your decision?
Well, I'm a lifelong resident of the city. That's all I needed. I don't think we attack the problems of our city at all. I served under a strong leader in the city council, and I didn't serve under a person who didn't understand that the council is a separate but equal branch of government. And so I can't support somebody who just followed the mayor. I think that in addition, some of the newcomers are interesting. Maybe Dennis will want to hire them, but they're not ready to be mayor. For the needs our city has, you need an experienced person. So when I thought of every person, I thought, well, they have certain assets, but he has that experience and that ability to care about regular people. And nobody, Dennis saved our municipal light plant. And nobody can buy Dennis off. He has total integrity. And so that was, and I talked to him about what he would do. And he really has some great ideas that I never thought of. And frankly, I think the idea of training police, which is your idea, fabulous. That's what they need.
You know, one of the things that I want to add is in response to your question. I call Congresswoman Oakar frequently and ask for her opinions. Before I ask for her support, I would call you and ask for your opinions on things because I value the way that she looks at things in the city because of her years of experience, more experience than most people around. And so, you know, to have her advice, which I've taken along the campaign route, and then the moment came where I said, well, you know, I'd love for you to openly support me, but that came as a result of, you know, many phone calls and a relationship. So it's not just, you know, some spur of the moment thing. And again, I'm so grateful. Any other questions before we take it in? If that's it, thanks to each and every one of you for being here.
And you know what, Dennis, one thing I wanted to mention. We're both lifelong residents of this city. That's a little different than some other people. You've always said your address on Milan Avenue, and I live down the street from the West Side Market. And we're part of the people, and that's what you are. That's so important to be identified with the vast majority of people who are in need, especially.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congresswoman Oakar.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, we did it.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know,
That's great.
so,
Okay,
do
so-
you need a ride or anything?
No, I drove.
You drove?
I'm gonna go shop.
Okay.
I gotta buy some fruit and vegetables.
Okay.
Um,
So let's chat.
yeah, okay.